Hey, Don here. Okay, back with another stream, but not about the computers. Let me check, make sure everything's working and everything. Okay. Let me switch and I'll show you. I have been working on this. That's what I'm going to work on, actually. I haven't started working on it yet. And I've never seen one before. Maybe you know just what that is. That's a vibrating motor, and it's out of... my mom has this fancy bed that raises the foot, and the head raises up and down, and then it has a massage on the foot and the head, and she quit working. And so I figured, you know, a common thing, loose wires or something. Well, and the other common thing is they'll break, you know, usually right where they go into whatever kind of apparatus you got. The wire will break inside, the copper will break inside the insulation. And this is a vibrator, so what would punish a wire more than that? You know, usually that kind of thing happens a lot in cars too because of the vibration of driving the car. It's soldered on there, and I'm pretty sure, and this, oh yeah, there's 3 leads. I'm pretty sure they're, it's got some hot snot on it or something, yeah. I guess that's how they insulate it. I guess I should have got out my glue gun. I didn't. I hadn't even tried to take it off or anything yet, but I'm gonna, normally if I don't have to solder on a little circuit, I mean, it's not too small, but it's always can be hard, or you can even mess something up or something. If I don't have to solder, I don't. You know, if there's enough room to get a wire nut or a quick connect, wire nuts, people they think quick connectors are better. It seems to be on YouTube, but I use wire nuts even on cars. I learned that way back in the 70s. They hold better, and think about it, they're safe. They're considered safe for house wiring. Of course, houses don't vibrate. That's what I'm fixing to get to. Houses don't vibrate, so I am a bit worried about it. You know, the vibration. That's a vibration dampener. It's rubber. I am worried about that. I don't know. You know, if it vibrated a wire. I don't have enough wire to get, you know, I'd have to cut it here, probably here. That's not enough to really get a, I got some little bitty wire nuts. I could get them on there, but I guess I'll go ahead and solder it. I haven't tried to take that motor out of there. It might come out okay, but I really don't think I want it because that'll hold it. I get it propped up here. I think I can use my endoscope to help me see, and maybe the legs of the tripod to help hold it. So let's see. Oh, confused about what I was going to do there. Okay, yeah, I'm going to do those 2 for right now. And I thought I would just, whoops, I ran into the wire for my endoscope. Now I got to redo all that. But I thought I would, oops. Don't really need to see none of the extra. Well, let's go to there. Yeah. All right. So now you can see this close up and the wide angle there. My chair legs are fighting me. That's another thing needs fixing. This chair, it's still comfortable as it can be, but the wheels, you know, where the studs go into the bottom of the platform for the chair, it's plastic, and it's wore out to the point that one of them just fell out one day, but they won't swivel, so they fight you every time you roll back and forth. And actually the original platform for this chair was aluminum, and one of the little, actually I don't think it is aluminum because I always thought it was. Anyway, one of the brackets was welded. They were welded on there. They were thin metal, broke off, and I never did try to fix it. I thought it was aluminum. I didn't think I could weld it. I have a welder. I've got something hanging on my finger again. Just got through trying to fix that. So anyway, Oh, and the reason I went ahead and I bought another chair, same brand, because it was a weird hole pattern. Couldn't find one anywhere, and so I bought another one. It was like $150, $175 chair I got for about $100 years and years ago, 15, 20 years ago. And it has massage and everything in it. All that still works, but I don't ever use it. But talking about my chair. Bought another identical base, but just a plain chair for $50 on sale, and that was actually cheaper than I could buy a used. It's cheaper than I could buy a used chair anyway that didn't even match. So I got me a base and the right hole pattern to bolt the chair on, and now it's wore out. So the upholstery is still good on it, but I think the gas shock thing on it is it won't stay up anymore. Well, maybe it will. I think it's beginning to leak down. But anyway, and the other one I ruined it because I welded that other one twice, and I didn't bother to take it off the gas shock because it seemed hard, and it overheated it and ruined it. So it would only stay at the bottom. So anyway, long story long. Get this lined up somehow here. First I wanted to, I think what I'll do is go up, whoops, actually that's okay, a little higher than that, there. And what I was going to do is, even though it gets a little blurry when you get up high, I thought I would leave it up there, and I'm going to try and, problem is I got to be able to see to do what I want to do a continuity. I was going to try doing a continuity test. First, I'm going to have to get that. Could really use some more light. I got the light on that, and it does help, but I guess I could turn it on brighter. Get it too bright, and then it reflects on everything. Trying to see how bright it was. Let's see. I don't know. It might actually be. No, it won't stand up any better with that. I don't think it's. Well, maybe it is screwed in there. Something. It might be. It's probably glued in there. Either that, or it's just such a tight fit with that rubber thing there. But I got to get this. But I thought I'd do a continuity test before just to confirm, what I think's wrong. But I'm gonna have to get this hot snot off of here before I can, I don't know, maybe it'll help. I just don't have enough light for me to see. I've got a light, so see if I can get it to come over this way enough to do the job. There's a problem with it though. The tripod's in the way. It also blinds me if it's aimed anywhere near where in my eyes. I need light, but my eyes are very sensitive to light. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Okay, so it does help though. Now I can actually see what it was I was looking at there. But yeah, this thing had on the outside a sticker saying danger high voltage, so I guess these are 110 volt motors, not. So there's a green wire. Where's my spot? A green wire and a red wire and a black wire. There. So I got oh, there it is. I don't know if I broke it the rest of the way, fiddling around with it. I didn't cut on that side. I was sitting there thinking, if I slip with my knife, I'm going to cut the wires off, and I won't even know where they go. But it's very hard for me to. There's our problem wire. You know, those other ones may be on there so good, I may not I won't redo them if I don't have to. It just broke all the way off now. So it's way up on the inside. That's the farthest one in on this thing, though. So you can't do it. No point in doing a well, I thought it was broke up in here. Is what I was thinking. Well, yeah, and I don't know why I wasn't thinking. There's two big possibilities that the vibration shook, broke the wire at the solder or up inside of it there. That's got a shield on it. Let's get that down lower so I can show things better. There. Yeah, there's a shield on there. Be darned. It's got some hot snot on it. I don't know who decided to call it that, but when you start trying to get this stuff off, and just to look at it when it gets old and dirty, it does remind you of snot. But yep, it's got a shield, and they've got a piece of heat shrink that has it's not in the right place. Maybe that's why they put that hot snot on there, because the heat shrink didn't end up in the right place, and so they said, well, I'll fix that. Boop. So yeah, I guess I could do a continuity test on these other ones, make sure they work. Thing is I think I'll just try poking what I was going to do is, just even with it soldered, I was just going to test it first. I'm glad I decided to do that because I found something out right quick there. I think I may have to take the motor out of here if it'll come out okay without a lot of trouble. Because, oh, there we go. Yeah, I figured it was just kind of a loose press fit. It's easy to get it apart. It has, that's the other side, it has screws and nuts on it. So this one, this way, oh yeah, you got to remember which way it goes. It's got a wire lead on both ends, so pay attention. It's got a place for the wire to go through on that end, but this is the end. And there's in case I forget, there's the glue. But also I need to kind of know where my rubber belongs, so put it kind of right where it was. Okay, and it's got, this was it's put together good. I mean, this was screwed to the bottom. The very bottom of the bed has a sheet of plywood, and then it has this supports the bottom mattress, and then it has one little memory foam mattress on top of that. That thing weighs a ton. I like to get it off there by myself. And then this was just kind of wound up and not, strain relief. So they wouldn't get hung on stuff, I'm sure if you're cleaning under the bed or something, you could yank these loose. And this is just plugs in. Oh, there's only 2 wires. Oh, that's why I was surprised to see 3. There's only 2 being used, the green one and the red one. So yeah, the typical thing when I pushed it this way, when I'd push on it towards that way, it would work, and then when I'd pull it back, it would not work. So I still would kind of feel better if I just cut it back here past any place that, it doesn't look like it's been in a big bind though. But I don't see, and my hands are fumbly these days, so it may be more, I might screw this whole, and I don't have a real good soldering iron. I just have an old stick soldering iron, so it might be that I would ruin that circuit board trying to solder it more than one time. One time is probably enough for me. But yeah, I can get to that. If I can get a way to hold it up. Let's see. Yeah, there's only one place it can go. I think I'm too close there, a little bit too close. Let's see. Gotta have some way. Now that's more focus. See, I'm going to use this to, let me go ahead and go to just the endoscope. My light was helping. Now I think it's hurting. I'll turn it off. It's just, blinding me. It gets me light on my subject, but it blinds me. So, oh man, that was killing me. I didn't realize how bad it was. So yeah, now I can actually see better. So right there is where I need to solder. And if I just be careful and don't overheat that, then I'm going to have to... I still can't see. Use my magnifying glass, let's see. Oh, I see. Oh, wait. That's not really where it went. That's a component. You know, as much as that seems like it helps, yeah, that's a little component. That's not where that goes. It goes back there where all the hot snot is. Yeah, there's another soldered joint. There I see the soldered spot joint. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm going to have to heat up my... I guess I'm going to need it. I'm thinking I might need to heat up my glue gun to use the nose of it to melt this. I guess I could take my glue stick out of it and use the nose to melt this off of here. But, let's see if I turn that light up a little more. Will it help or hurt? I guess that's fine. That's up all the way. A little, right on, a little bit reflection there. There we go. Now that's better. Okay, now I think I can get by with that. But yeah, instead of, because if I keep trying to, what I'm thinking is I don't, okay, that's kind of crazy because it's got a ground wire soldered to it, that big black wire. But the green and the red is the only one that that's actually connected to anything. And it's grounded, it's run off the, looks like it's a solid lead wire. And it's run off the side and soldered on this side. And it's got, no, that's just solder there. Either that or that's just how they made the circuit board ground. But see down here, well, there we go. There's proof. See it? It's just left cut off. Huh? Well, I did think it was odd, you know, being 100. Well, either 110 or DC. Well, 110 will often have a ground wire. Of course, the green one's usually ground, not part of the circuit. But it's, red and green's our circuit. Black is an actual ground to this case of this motor. But what I'm going to have to do is best thing I could think of. I certainly ain't going to stick my soldering iron on there and get goo all over it. But I got a hot glue gun. It works great. Had it for 1 year. I just thought, you know what? Those things look like they could be useful. I had never used one before. I'm getting it out. And I went ahead and bought one. And oh, I was like, why am I seeing that trash can? Wrong camera, that's one. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. But I've got, I put it in this. This was a bag that came with the shavers, throwaway shavers. Used it for years, and then one day I wanted a bag. I wanted something to put this thing in. But yeah, I think if I'll take the, it's almost used up. If it'll come out, I may have to heat it up to get it out. I got my soldering gun already plugged in over there, ready to be used. And let me make sure I'm still good on my video. This has been an all-day thing. Oh, my video is paused, but not. Okay. I paused the video. That's what I did, but the audio was still on. Okay. Anyway, where I need to plug in down there is going to be a little hard to get to now that I have my table up here. Let me see if I can reach it. And this is like a soldering iron. You plug it in and it turns on. Oh yeah, I think I can get to that. I'm careful here. Anyway, I got the soldering iron all plugged in and ready to go. Should be all warmed up. It's probably ran so long, it's probably throttled off. I think after it runs so long, it'll shut down for a while. Oh, anyway, this and a soldering iron, that's just two things I really need falling all over the place. Let's see. I guess I don't need my multimeter right now. Well, I was going to try to test, figure out where to set this thing. Ah, here we go. I can slide my soldering iron over and put it next to it, I think. Yeah, that'll do. Now, let me get my multimeter on. I wanted to make sure that there wasn't any. This is going to be hard because I don't have clips for my. I really got to. I guess I need to break down and buy a whole set of attachments for this multimeter. Let's see. I'll make it beep. Okay. Now, okay, I got my preview playing, but I didn't ever make sure the audio and everything was working right. I'll make it beep. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so red one. There we go. I think I can get a connection. Hope so. Yeah, I should be able to. So I do know that when I push the wire one way, then it works. So the motor worked. That's how come I was confident that I should be able to. What I'd like to be able to do is really get a hold. I don't have a way to clip this. It's not beeping though. See, these are so short. My old analog meter has really long. I thought I might need some. I mean, I can get one on there, a small one, and then, but let's see. I don't think I have anything small enough to. Here's the problem, you know. I mean, I can do that with two hands. I can kind of do it with one hand. But you're never completely sure you got a good connection. And I believe it's touching the metal, but it really should beep when it's, there. But what I want to do is I need it hooked up solid so that I can whittle the wire and make sure that it's not broke inside of here. Because all this work would be, nothing if I mean, I can just solder it and then plug it in, get it running, and do that. I may have to do that. It's kind of but that means putting it all back together first. Let's see. What do I got? I guess I would have to go all the way out in the garage and get some. I have some jumpers. I don't think I have any in here. Maybe I got some up there. Now, I have another little soldering iron that's actually got a better tip than the one I'm fixing to use, because the one I'm fixing to use is wore out. There ain't much left of the tip. But it's the only one hot enough to melt any solder that I've got. So let me get over here and get this. I might have some jumpers in here is what I'm thinking. In here where I have this thing. I had brought it in here and put it inside. Yeah. I guess I need to come back. Oh, what's this? Let's just get out what I got and I'll come back to the picture here. I may have to go out there and get. I'm trying to. Most of my jumpers though, they don't. have, there's a red one that's a solid core. That's what I need to put with those two white ones, and I won't always have to put tape on one. Okay, yeah, here's the other soldering iron. It's got an okay tip, but it doesn't get hot enough to do much good. So I really can't hardly solder with it. Let's see. And I won't show you the other one yet. You'll see it in a minute. But yeah, this wire I might be able to, no, it would never stay on there, since I might be able to wrap it on the end of the, and this is actually a female, and I had a heck of a time. I actually went out in the garage to solder this one day. I was going to rig this up. You see, it can be a kind of a tester. I used to use those all the time. Anyway, this was in the spring, a year or two ago, and I think I started trying to solder it with the one that's not hot enough, and that was my first mistake, because it had to stay on it too long and started melting that plastic. And then, but bees kept attacking me. They kept buzzing. Well, they didn't bite me. They just kept landing on my head. And they kept doing it and kept doing it. Usually they'll, you know, you just kind of, actually if you blow at them, they don't like human breath and they usually go away. But I ended up fighting those bees for a couple of hours, and I must have killed 15 of them with the spray, hot shot spray. But I've had this thing here since the 70s. That looks like it's about ready to break. It is. The insulation's broke. But I used to have a 1/4-inch jack on it, and you could just hook it up to something and then plug headphones into it and listen to it. And anyway, that's, I used to use this as a test lead. It's just in my stuff in here. I'm confused. I'm tired. I like to kill myself taking that bad apart. I actually tried to take it off its base, took 4 screws out of it, and then I realized, well, there's a whole bunch more crap, and I'm never going to get it apart. Never get it back together if I did get it apart. So I put it back together like I never got it back together, get it lined up, and I still can't think. Yeah, I wasn't, that's one reason why I had so much trouble, because I wasn't with it when I started. And so I'm even less with it now, I think. Anyway, I melted the thing so much that the when you plug something into it, it doesn't connect right. And I was going to use that, I was going to stick that solder on, it'll fit in there. I was going to stick it in there and try to straighten it back out, but I never did it. That's why it was with that. Oh, I'm fighting my chair again. Okay, let's see. I don't know if this will, I don't think it would ever stay on there. But that's solid wire, and it would stay in here. I don't have my baby vice grips in here. Usually I'm out in the garage when I do some of this soldering, just because of the smell and stuff, but I wanted to use the endoscope to help me see and everything. So, and it's dark. It's 10:20 p.m. Yeah, this will go in there and stay. It doesn't even need to be that long. It barely fits in there. I didn't know that was that small. Those little white ones I got might be better that I have down in my, oh, that fits good. Just try it. Okay, so I'll do that. Now what I do sometimes when I want to do something like this is use my baby vice grips and just lock it on, you know. So I may do that, but I guess I'll have to go get them. Everybody's in the living room, so I don't want to carry the camera in there. That's the thing I'm thinking. Turn that off. It's just sitting there wasting battery. Well, I could grab the other camera or something and take it with me to show where I'm going, but dang it, thought I had everything. I don't have, I do have one pair, but they're big in here, and they're not very good ones either. All right, but I do want to test that wire good as I can. Let's see, will that still work? Will that work? Yeah. If I've got, you know, 2 hands to hold it, do this in, then I should be all right. So I'm just gonna run and get that stuff. I don't know what else to do. All right, I can talk to you, but I'll be gone. Yeah, there's no point in grabbing this camera with everybody in there. They don't want to be in my video. All right. All right, let's see. What do I want? I want test leads. There's one, there's one. I'll just get what I got. There. And my baby vice grips. Oh, if I get these, I may not need them, but I'll get them anyway, make sure I can do what I need to do. Where are they? There they are. Now, hopefully that's all I need from out here. All right. It's also kind of cool outside. It's supposed to be 45 degrees tonight. All right, I'm back. That didn't take long. It took a little more time to worry about doing it than it would have to just run and do it. Okay, so however I want to do it now, I can. Got these. I got these. Okay. So I can use one of these clips. I don't even need to unwind it. Not sure. Yeah, there's not much to clip onto there. But if I can just get to stay, guess I should have clipped it onto that end first. Just get it to stay, then let's get the red one. Since I decided to use the black one on this end, I'll put it. Oh, maybe I should have used the red one on this end. All right. Doesn't matter with the continuity tester. Yeah, I remembered that I had tried this before and it did not work very well. They won't. Even though they're pretty small on the end, they just don't want to hold on to that. There, I think I've got it. Okay, now, yeah, we'll leave all this, everything set up like it is. You gotta put it on continuity, and then you gotta hit select on this thing. There. Okay, now, I guess my other thing is I was going to need to strip some wire anyway, so strip a little bit of wire. I don't need a lot. These things are really handy. You know, I never had a pair of these. I did wiring stuff all my life. I started learning how to rewire house switches when I was like 10 years old back in the 60s. And I just used a knife. I never even had one of these utility knives till I was grown. I think I just used pocket knives back when I was young. But anyway, I didn't think I needed one until one of those wire strippers until I finally got one here back in 2000. I bought a bunch of new tools in 2000. I had a job installing, doing a bunch of wiring, installing telephone telcos, telephone company central offices installing equipment, and so that's when I finally decided I needed something like that. Okay, now if I can, I think maybe I can hold it. Yeah, see, I can wiggle the crap out of it and nothing happens. Good. It's very irritating, but okay. So now I can swap it to the green and try to make sure it's not damaged. Let's see. Green on that side there. Go in there. Oh, it came off of the other end, but that's all right. I'm not quite sure how long you can leave this in a mode, and am I going to be able to get through that hot snot to test it? I'm not going to be able to do it the way I just did, though. I'll make sure that's not ready to break there. If I can pull it off, it's ready to break. It looks like it feels like it's pretty solid. Is that solid? Yeah, that goes around the side like I thought. That's why it's moving. Because it goes around, out, all the way around, out and around. Here, let's turn that continuity tester off for now. Okay, so they thought that, let me use the big screen. They thought that that would hold it, I guess. They actually used that to hold that ground down there. It held it a little bit. I guess considering how much this motor vibrates, I guess it did a pretty good job. I think I should take off the old hot snot, and I always hate hearing the word snot over and over. I'll quit saying that. I don't like thinking of stuff like that. Nasty, gross stuff. Alright, yeah, let me get that thing. It should be hot enough to melt that just fine now. And I guess I should, I don't know if this will help or hurt. I'm going to try putting it over the paper towel so maybe it'll catch it, and let's try not to get it on the wire that we're going to solder. Let's don't wick it with hot snot. Oh yeah, don't say hot snot. Okay. Where's the one that I'm going to solder it onto? Oh, I didn't take that out yet. You know what? I don't know if you can do that. It doesn't want to come out of there. Well, I'll leave it in there, but I just won't pull the trigger. Okay. Yeah, there's where I want to get it off from. I think I just got that in it. Dadgummit. I need 5 hands to do anything. I don't really don't want to get that on there. It'd be hard to, I'd really have to cut it again. I don't know if I got it all over it or not. Can't tell really. I think it's okay. I think that's just solder. Yeah, it's just solder. I don't think I'm going to have to cut it. I think just stripping it did the trick. But I'm going to try and get this off of here. I don't know if this is going to help or hurt. What do you think? I think it's better than trying to force it off of there. What is it? Oh, alcohol. I saw a YouTube video where they said, here's the trick of getting this stuff off. And they put alcohol on it and it took it right off. I guess I should try that. Maybe I should try that before I even do any more of this. Because it would definitely be easier to get a big chunk off than a little bitty bit. I don't know, this is working pretty good though. I'm just going to continue on here. I can put more on there. That's what I'm using is a hot snot gun. I keep doing it. Well, what else do you call it? Oh, glue gun. Glue gun. This is a glue gun. Let's be politically correct. Not a hot snot gun. It's a hot snot gun, though. It really is. Dang it. I mean, look at that. That's hot snot. It's just bleh. Nasty stuff. We used to call pretty girls that knew they were all that hot snot. Said, yeah, she's hot snot. She's hot, but she's a snot. Oh, that's not politically correct either, is it? Who cares? Who started that anyway? Politicians. Do you really care what politicians think? See, they care what you think about them, but we don't care what they think about us. Let's see. It's not really working. I think it might have, the alcohol may be the way to go. Because then if you get it all off in one big chunk, it doesn't need to be, well, it needs to be off of where I'm going to solder. So, I'm going to wipe that chip. If you leave it setting for very long, it will just melt. As a matter of fact, this thing was way longer. The last time I used it, I let it set for a long time and forgot about it. Didn't mean to. And let's get back off of that view. All you can see is the hot snot. Okay. I got some on the little feet. But anyway, leave it too long and that'll start pouring out of there. And it does stick to stuff. Oh, it had already poured out and it was stuck on my... Well, it came off of there pretty easy though. It's made a nice little ball of stuff. Okay. Yeah, see, it really didn't do me as much good as I was hoping. So what I'm going to do then is, plan B is to try the recommended method with the alcohol. I got, I'm sure regular rubbing alcohol will be fine. I've got some denatured alcohol in the garage, but I got some rubbing alcohol right here. Oh, daggum chair. This is why I was telling all about the chair. It's always on my mind because it's always a real pain. Okay, let's see what happens here. Yeah, the alcohol, I already have dried and cracking skin, and my thumbs will crack and bleed and kill me. So yeah, I'm gonna wear my little glove. My little dishwashing glove. That's not a dishwashing glove, it's one of those natural gloves. Okay, let's see if this is the miracle stuff they say it is. I don't think it is. Doesn't seem to be phasing it to me. I don't need it off of the rest of it, but I do want it off of where I'm going to solder. Maybe this was a good idea to do what I did because I don't think it's doing it. I think, of course, it might have done better. Like I said, I probably would have been better off if I would have. Oh no, it's making it come. It's making it come off. Bigger chunks would have come off. Yeah, there's a big piece of it. Bigger chunks. I think the bigger chunks may have just came right off if I wouldn't have fiddled around with trying to melt it first. It does. It just kind of dissolves it. Makes it let go. Huh. Well, it looked like it was going to, it worked really good on the video. I don't think I've tried it before. If I did, I don't remember. Yeah, so just leave it in big chunks and put the alcohol on your, I just put alcohol on the paper towels, all I did. And it's making it let loose. And then once the alcohol dries, you got a clean surface to glue back to again, so it doesn't hurt anything. I think I would have been better off. I had a feeling would have been better off if I would have. It really is working. Ah, hey. Learn something new every day, however. Sometimes. Yep, it's coming off. There was a lot more left on there than I could even see. Those pieces are thicker than I thought they were going to be. But yeah, I'm just beginning to get it clean where I'm going to have to solder. Now if I can get the rest of this, there we go, it's starting to lift off. If I can get the rest of this off of here, so where I can test and everything, I'm going to, well, if I can pull that, that wire, if it breaks, then it was ready to break. I mean, just by doing that, just by rubbing on it and stuff. Yeah, most of it's off of there now. Huh. That's pretty, that stuff completely dissolves in alcohol. Alcohol doesn't do that to very many things. I don't know what else it does it to, actually. I should have put my other glove on. I'm gonna end up with cracks on this finger. I do have another glove over here, so let's use it. There. Now. But hopefully all I will have to do when I finally get this cleaned off and everything is resolder that wire that I stripped the end off of, that red one, and I think I may pretty well have it done. I think there's some right there still. I mean, it's a good idea to get it off and re-glue it anyway. Yeah, it's still wet on the other side. That's way better than trying to cut it up with a knife. First thing you happen is you'll cut your little bit of wires right in two. You end up having to resolder everything. And stuff holds surprisingly well. Well, that table was dirty. Look at that. Okay. Now, I think there's still some right. Oh, that's paper. Or is that glue? I think it might be glue. I think I'll get another paper towel. I got plenty of them here. This is not. I'm not wasting paper towels. Don't worry. They've already been used to clean my glasses. They've got. Yeah, they got something on them. They got some glasses cleaner. It's got some. Maybe all that together makes it work better. Got some of this stuff on there for cleaning glasses. I don't remember what's in it, but it's ammonia or something. I don't remember what. Something I was kind of surprised when I read the little label. There. And now I'm going to concentrate on cleaning my solder surface here. Well, then I'm going to get, once I get, I see I can't really see. I'm just looking at it. Even when I look up on the, oh, there we go. When I look up on the preview, let me go ahead and go to the big screen so that I can use this camera for what it's intended for. Yeah, when I look on here, I think I see more of it. Yeah, there was. But that stuff just dissolves it. Only time I've ever seen a cleaner dissolve junk that good is like using MEK. When I used to work at General Dynamics, we had some industrial strength cleaners in there. MEK, I think it was. Or is that the bad one? There was one that was Freon based, if you can believe it. You know, now they outlaw letting Freon into the air. Well, we had Freon based cleaner all over that plant. First we had, I think we had acetone. We had something that really worked. I think it was acetone. And then they decided it was bad for you to breathe it. And they started using that Freon-based stuff. Freon like goes in a compressor, you know, air conditioning compressor. And it was crap. And I don't know. I don't remember if it actually bothered you, you know, like making you cough more or anything when you breathed it, but definitely was a crappy cleaner. And I don't know what they're doing now. That was back in, well, last time I got laid off there was 92. Let's see, I worked there from 81, 81 to 92. I got laid off twice. Let's see, that's what happens in aircraft manufacturing pretty often. Defense cuts, defense cuts. We used to always say, and it was true, hiring out of one, bringing them in, hiring them in one door, and firing them out the other. And I remember, really and truly, you'd see people getting hired in one department and getting laid off in another. I remember seeing one guy get called back, and then 2 weeks later they laid him off again. And so I actually, well, not just that, but I really liked being a cabinet maker. I was a cabinet maker before I got on at GD, and then I got back into cabinets, and then when they called me back, I didn't go back, even though it was quite a bit more money. I was making $50 an hour as a cabinet maker, and I made $10.26 at General Dynamics in 83 when they laid me off the first time. Actually, 10.26 is what I hired in at. I was making more than that. They gave good raises, and it's good money, but it was a crappy environment. I didn't like it. I still have that lead plugged in there. I was like, why does that wire not want to go where I want it to? Well, I didn't do the, actually, before I solder, I guess I will do that testing, but I want to finish what I'm cleaning, and now I can test all I want. I think I'm done cleaning though. I really am, yeah. Now, as many times as I've bent that wire, it's either good or, let's go ahead and, hang on to this paper towel for just a little longer. That alcohol will evaporate, but it won't evaporate instantly. So it's kind of strong. I don't know, figuring out where to put it. Okay, get these old gloves off. They make my... Oh, I forgot I was, I forgot I was only on the, well, I still want to be on this single. No, I don't. Anyway, let's look it over again. I haven't really given it a really good look over yet. I just got to figure out how I'm going to get this thing situated so I can, so I can solder on it. It's got paper on it. Figured that. There. Oh, that wire is almost ready to break, I think. Yep, I think so. Not surprised. Green one. It's still blurry. Got to get just to the right distance. It's just a fixed focus camera. Let me bring it up, and then I don't have enough room to... Yeah, if I could get this to stand up like that. Oh, what did I say? It was about ready to break. It came off. So, yeah, that one has to be resoldered too. And then that one, I believe will be okay to resolder. But now I see that's the problem, and not up in the strain relief area or anything. So I'm just going to cut the end off of that and strip it again like I did a minute ago. I didn't cut the end off at first a while ago, and it couldn't get it off there, so I'm going to do it this time. Whoops, where'd it go? I think it popped up in the air and went away. Okay, now I'm going to have to figure out a way to give it some strain relief, though. It really didn't have any other than that glue. That's why it broke. All this that they did to give it strain relief everywhere else, but the motor itself didn't really have any strain relief, and that's where you need it. It's a vibrating motor. I mean, it did last for, I don't know how long she's had this bed. When did she get it? Can't remember anymore. I don't know if it was like 96 or 8 or 2002 or, uh-oh. It's going to end up too short. Well, I can just scrunch up that big black wire. Actually, maybe it was broke off inside of there. It's probably enough. Let's see. Yeah, I think so. You don't want too much. You don't want too little, because then you'll just be melting insulation into it. That should be about right on either one of them. Well, you want to make sure you get back to some good, strong, healthy wire, too. On that one, I'm not so sure. And the red one. I think I want to strip a little more on it. I don't know, maybe I should on both of them, because it's awfully, well, actually there's plenty of solder still on there. Usually I like to pull out the old wire. I can see it right there, I can see it. But it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to try to pull it out, I'm going to leave it, because that's usually where I get in trouble and overheat things. So yeah, I won't try to do that. Okay, so there we go. Actually, if I can remember to use the camera, it can help me. Let's see. Yeah, that's all right. And if I solder, I'll let that solder, well, I don't want to wick it up too far. That'll actually make your wires end up breaking, especially, I would imagine, with the, you know, this vibrating motor. But even with the normal type of use, wicking your wires too much. Wicking is when the solder, if you don't know, it's solder going up the wire, you know. It can be useful, but it can also make the wire more likely to break. But I probably will what I'll do is I'll pre-wick it, and then that's what why they wick the wire, that's what they mean when they say that. But you don't want too much of it. Let's see, I can't see. Is that it? Yeah. So I'll do that, and then mostly use the old solder when I solder it down. Yeah, and pay attention to which direction. I think it's going to matter. Keep twisting and twisting. You won't know which way it goes. Yeah, okay. Green on that side, red on that side. What's that? I think that was actually some skin. That hurt when I pulled it off. So, unless I had some glue that fell on my finger when I was melting glue. But for me to be able to solder, I really need this standing up. But what's going to hold it up? I guess I should. You know what? Maybe if I That counterweight just kills me. I've never seen one of these before, but that's why they vibrate. Must be a pretty hefty little motor to be able to stand that. So, let's see. Yeah, you're doing it again. Okay, yeah. Okay, just like that's how it goes. And that's wicked. Talking about wicked. Now that's a really wicked wire. Way up there. That's that ground wire that actually goes nowhere. Maybe they thought that would be the strain relief, but for it to be strain relief, it needs to be shorter than these wires, not longer. I guess that could be my strain relief if I redid it. I wonder if they originally wanted that to be a ground and then decided that no, they didn't want it. That doesn't make sense. Why would they go to all the trouble to solder that on there at all and use that three-strand wire? Wire costs money. I don't know. Maybe some models use a ground wire and some don't, or something. I'm going to try my other glasses. My safety glasses magnify more. I might be able to see what I'm doing better. Looking at the screen, it makes it look funny, but looking at this, I think it makes me see better. Let me go back to the other ones and see. These are 125s, and the I can't really tell. Inside, in here in the house, I think maybe these are better. No, I think I was able to see a little better. I think they need cleaning. I've been wearing them a lot today. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I can see. Because I'll probably end up having to look straight at this, you know, in real life to do some soldering. But I think what I'm going to do is kind of bend that over, and maybe then I'll hit it with solder to keep to, yeah, I'm not going to take it off, but I'll bend it over so that I can get this all lined up. And then I will, yeah, first I want to wick those wires a little bit. Then I'll solder them down, and then I'll solder this in place, and that'll be a strain relief. What do you think of that? I think that might work. Okay, so get these out like that, I guess, so I can solder without. As far as holding this up, it almost stands up on its own, and I think my little baby vice grips will be just big enough to be a handle to hold it up. I think I'll go ahead and do that right now. Either that or use I need a full-size pair. I have a full-size pair in here. Where are they? And they're not very good ones unless I took them out. They're not very good ones, that's why I went ahead and put them in here. Because I don't really, yeah, there they are. I don't really use them for anything more than maybe doing what I'm fixing to do with them. They're not the real vice grip brand, and they show it. They'll pop open on their own. What are they? Craftsman. Craftsman does not make good vice grips. They're crap. But they make, you know, other tools of theirs I like. I've got most of my tools are Craftsman. They're good enough, but not. Loosen that up until I can. Let's go back to the view while I'm getting set up here. Oh, I did it again. I'm always used to using that other camera because I'm usually over there. Okay. I don't know if I want it from this side. I think I want it from this side. What I'm going to do, I don't want to over tighten it or anything. That's a brass counterweight. You could really booger it up quick. I just want it a little tighter than that, maybe. There. Now that should be, yeah, that holds it real good. I like that. Let's see. Yeah, what I really need is for that to be up like that though, because it will not want to go back the way I want it. Up like that. It won't want to go back, so I'm going to figure out some way to. Before I do any of that other stuff though, I'm going to test this one like I did the other one, make sure it's not broken inside of there. So let's hook this up to the. We're gonna end up turning something over here if I don't watch out. The little screws that hold it together. I got everything right there ready, but oh my. Jumper wire fell off of there. There's another one of these. There's another motor at the foot of bed that's not working. I was kind of wanting to get it off and check it, but I don't think I'll even try. Not tonight, for darn sure. But I don't know. I mean, I can't. I don't even think I could. I'd have to take. It's got a headboard on it, and I'd have to take it off to even try to lift up the mattress and frame. You know, like tilt it up. I tried to. Well, I told about that earlier. I tried to get the mattress loose and tilt it up, and that was not going to work. But I think I better move this stuff before I knock it over. I had it all here handy, but okay. Now I want to tested the green one already. So now I want to test the, get my clips all on there again. There we go. There. Okay, now, if I can hold these together with my finger and bend that around. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, good. That seems to be all good. Yeah, I had decided that I forget. I mean, I really thought number one, my real number one, yeah, I'll say that now. My real number one idea was that these were breaking off. But I had decided that it was up in here just because that does happen a lot, you know, right in the area where it comes out of the device, whatever it might be. But I forgot. I think I'm going to be able to use my tripod. There we go. Yeah. So, you know, this is actually surprisingly, with this holding it up and this is turns, I mean, it can just get me to where I can get to where I can do it. It can work. Oh yeah, I want to do the wicking the wires first before I get all into that. I've been working so long now, I need to go take a little break, but I'll try to get this done first. Now, I'm leaking a little bit of hot glue over there, but not a lot, so I think I'll be all right. I don't have a fancy soldering iron, but I got a fancy holder for it. This is barely going to reach. I think I'm going to go under the legs of the toolbox and come up through here. That way I won't accidentally. Actually, that's not that way, this way. Be careful. Okay, that thing has really been running long enough to be hot. Yeah, see, I got a little pad and everything. And that'll hold it. And you won't be burning your table up. Yeah, this one, I was telling you how bad the tip is. I'm surprised it still works. I've had some, can't see it very good, can you? I've had some that actually I had two over the years. My dad died when I was 4 years old, and he left behind some tools, and he was real mechanical and everything. So am I. Of course. But anyway, he had a welder soldering gun, and that thing was good, and that's what I learned to solder with. Of course, it had some fairly small tips, but actually about as small as that right there. But anyway, that one, I don't remember about that one, but I got another one just about 10 years ago. My buddy's dad died, and he had one, and I inherited that from my buddy's dad because my buddy didn't know what to do with any of that stuff. And I used it for several years, probably 5 years. And I remember one of the tips just burned in two because they had little U-shaped. They weren't like those kind of tips that you screw in. They were a U. Anyway, a U-shaped thing. And the end would burned out. And then all of a sudden it just quit working. My original one quit working, and then it just quit working. And I kept them. I still have them both because I always thought one day I'm going to learn how to fix them. Because if you open them up, they don't look like there's anything wrong with them. I still don't know what it might be. But, okay, I think maybe I can use the, I don't know if I want to put some on the iron, or I think I'll just heat up the wire a little bit. And it's usually good to put some on the iron. Oop, there we go. Get it cleaned a little bit, if nothing else. Let's see. Yeah, that way you don't get too much. Can't see it that good. I'll put it on the iron instead of the... I think it's beginning to do it. Yes, kind of. I think it got it. Okay, now, guess I'll just do both of them. You don't want too much. It's just, especially if you put a bunch more on there. Uh-oh, I'm separating the wires. Darn it. Guess I need to get off to the side or something. I forgot to use my sponge. I even got it wet and everything to clean that tip first. I usually scrape it when I'm done. So it's usually, my little holder is hot and I can't get myself around there. Let's go ahead and use that sponge right now. Get a new dab of solder on there. I can hardly tell. If I'm just looking at it, I really can't even see if I'm touching it. So if I use that, I meant to use the big close-up. Yeah, see this one doesn't. Heat rises, and it's usually just best to do it from the bottom up, but it feels like I'm doing it too long. There. Well, that was a piece of wire going off in the stray there. You know what, I think the light, I just realized something. The light's so bright on my, yep. The light's so bright on my camera that it looked like it wasn't working, and it was. The wires, they didn't just stick together like normal. But they're wicked pretty good, so I think I can take my soldering, let's make sure they're not too dirty. Where's that? There it is. It's already dry now, but make sure it's clean. I don't want to, just want to kind of squeeze those together. I mean, I'm fixing to heat them up again when I solder, so I hope it's going to work good. That was a little bent. I don't know if that red wire was kind of dirty or what. It just spread out and I mean, it looked clean. Really looked, it didn't have any solder on it or anything. But it kept spreading out when I was trying to get it to wick. Get it to wick like I wanted it to. Let's see. That needs to go up there keep that out of the way. Now, how are we going to do this? Just like that. There you go. Oh yeah, I don't want it to be, I want it to be like that. I want it laying down towards the, yeah, that one wicked quite a bit. It didn't really want to bend. Sometimes you don't see, well, like I said, I keep having to say this, or feeling like I have to say it. I can't see anymore. And it's just in the last year or so that I'm realizing, you know, I can't see crap anymore, and it's really bothering me. I want to get it down close. I can always cut off any, if I have too much, I can cut, well, if I try to solder it too close to the insulation, I know what'll happen, so I better not. I better go on out to, I can put lots of that hot snot on there. That'll be my insulator, just like they did. It does work for an insulator. Okay, that one's right where I can see it, and then I'll turn it, I guess, when I get... I guess that's about it for that one. I'll do the red one, and then I'll do the... Not sure if I want to depend on the video or, well, I might be able to. I'm probably going to need two hands. Yeah, I'm going to need two hands, so I guess I'll pretty well have to depend on the video. Because I'm going to hit it with solder too. Actually, I think I'll grab the hot side. I'm trying to see if I want to use that side that's all pitted or the other side. I think that other side might do better in this case. Is it too dirty to use? Let's see. I guess it's okay. Let's see. Wish I had some. Yeah. I don't know. No, I'm getting closer. I'm soldering it up right now. This is the tricky part. That was Mom wanting to know if she could go to bed tonight or not. Okay, let's see. There we go. Oh, let's put a little solder on there. I think that'll be best. Now, I probably won't even want to add any, really. Fingers in the way of the camera. I think I got it though. Let's see. Looks like it. Yeah, it's not. Actually, it's not a perfect solder, but it's not the ugliest one I ever saw either. So maybe that'll be good. Dadgummit. Drop a soldering iron and hit my test lead. Oh, it got solder on it. I thought it had melted it instantly. Okay, now this one. Trying to see where I want to get so that I can. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I think it's already touching the right place. Yeah. I think that black wire, whoops. Well, that just put it in a better spot. There we go. Okay, let's try to hit that. Solder it. One good thing about that little pit, it'll hold solder, and then I'll touch it from the other side and it'll draw it on down. Let's see. Try using the magnifying glass too. I think it might be, I don't know. I can't see good no matter which way I do it. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need a little. Did I get it? Look and see if I got it before I hit it again. I didn't quite get it. Put a little more on here. I had forgot to hold it kind of down against it with, you know, grab a hold of the wire. And I'll turn it over and make sure some gets on there. I used to always try not to waste the solder and I wouldn't, you know, knock it off, but it actually, the longer it sits on there, the worse it is. Ah, good. Now I have a few straggly wires sticking out of that red one, but you know what? It looks like a good strong joint. And that's what matters. Let me turn this out of my way, and maybe I better just move it. Oh, I ain't done soldering yet though, so I just wanted to take the yeah, I think I did get it. Oops. Yeah, I got good solders. I bet you this is the other one is probably one of the wires, or both of them are just completely off. That other motor, but I'm not going to do that tonight for sure. Now, I've already bent down this ground wire that doesn't go anywhere. But what I want to do is pull it on down to it till the point that it takes the strain off of the other wires, and then solder it in place. There. Yeah, on the side, I don't know if I can show. Yeah, you see there? That's how much I've relocated it. So, I'm just gonna, well, I do want to try to use it for me to see. Yeah, I think that will do it. If I can get it to stay right there. Okay, I'm gonna put solder on there, right there. Now this time I'll probably load a little solder at it. Put some on here first. I want to fill that. I want that to do the job. But I don't want it coming off of there on me, so. think it filled it up. Well, not really. There. Yeah, I didn't want to heat it up so much that it came off of that case of that motor. Okay. Let me inspect it a little more. I think I may be pretty well done. Guess I'll take it out of here. Let's go ahead and move the soldering iron. I can always get it again if I need it, but I don't think I need it anymore. So get it out of here, away from me so that I don't accidentally have an accident. Well, that thing gets awful hot. You got to remember not to touch that thing. I'll go ahead and get my, well, no, let's don't get that until I'm done inspecting my little hot glue gun. Okay. Yeah, I guess I've forgotten let my stuff get out of the camera view. Well, let's switch to the, still doing that. There we go. So I soldered that as a string relief. Maybe that was their original intent. It really feels like it's going to work. And that seems okay. I don't think I wicked it too much. I think it's, yeah, it's taking the stress. It pull, you know, when you pull against it. And those are okay. See, they're not perfect. There's a little straggly wire there, but they're good joints. They're holding good. Luckily, I had lots of space, so I didn't, you know, have to worry about getting into any other traces or anything on the board. But yeah, I don't know if you can really tell that. You can. I can feel it, and well, I can kind of see it. But that's actually working as a string relief. Now that's good. I was worried about having a string relief. Okay. Glad that popped into my head there. I really was kind of wondering what I was going to do. If I can figure out a way to add to it, I will. One of the simplest things to do is just tie a knot in the rope right before it comes out. And if there's room, I will do that before it comes out of the motor. It's an interesting little board. If you know all about circuits and motors and stuff, then you probably know exactly what you're looking at. I don't know all. I know capacitors, resistors when I see them, and well, sometimes, not always. Like, I don't know for sure if those are resistors or what those are, C1, C2. They usually say, well, they usually say R1, R2 if they're resistors, but I don't know all the, you know, labels and everything. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Kind of looks like a transformer of some sort. Maybe it is. It sure is a different looking one. But, all right, that's cool. Now, what else do I have to do to put this back together? Oh, I put that on the, let me look at it one more time. I was wondering, why can't I see it as good as I could? Because I wasn't on a big enough view. So yeah, that turned out okay. Really got pretty lucky. Nowadays I really can have a real hard time. I used to be pretty good at soldering. Now sometimes I have a really hard time. I mean, I'm just looking at a blurry blob, you know. I'm not, when I look up in there, this is helping though, but you can't look away from your work. I can't look up there at the screen and do it, you know, not full time. I can kind of glance up there, but I can't just work that way. I can't see how those, I'm just kind of impressed by how those assemblers, you know, I've seen how they work, a video of them working one time. And they have these screens, they're actually projectors, they're not cameras really. Well, I guess they are cameras, but they're like those things you used to see in school, you know, where you put a piece of paper under it and it projects the, well, it shines through the paper and shines it, you know, transparency, shines it up on the screen, but it's set up like that. But I don't know, maybe, you know, these glasses are hurting my ears so bad. They gotta come off. They hurt the top of my ears. The old safety glasses. Now these regular glasses are fine. Okay, so now can we get him back together? You can't test it until you plug it in. It's 110 volt. That's fine. It should be okay. And I won't worry so well. This had good strain relief, you know, so I'm not really worried about any of these. Well, I didn't remember to wiggle this end, but that's okay because it had all that for strain relief. But and I've got lots of wires so that I can, you know, feed some more back towards the motor. And see if I can get this motor back together now. Guess we'll go up with the close-up camera to about like that. And okay, yeah, it goes up. Oh, hot snot. I knew I was forgetting something. Now I gotta go back down, darn it. Okay, that's about right. It's sitting there waiting on me. Okay. Oh, let's see how it needs to go in there before we glue it in place. I'm not sure where it really needs to be. I don't think I can do it with it in there, but I want to at least have it in that area. Okay. Oh yeah, it wants to just go straight out like I did it. So just leave it straight up. I think I might want to put it back in the, yeah, I was just gonna hold it, but for one thing I might drip it on my fingers for no reason when I've got this thing here that can hold it. That's already came loose. That's a weird thing this thing does. It backs off on its own. Doesn't have to be real tight. Yeah, see, now I can hold it up straight. Let's see. I mean, sometimes when you think you did a good job and then your wires break because they're so old and brittle, they break on you while you're finishing up. Okay, so I hope I got enough glue. I think I do. Yeah, this being 110 volts, it's probably a real good idea to do this. I'm going to put more than they did, because I always overdo everything. Okay, let's see. I didn't get it down in that motor. There's actually a crack where it could go in there. I think I'm gonna, well, the whole rest of that board is exposed. Well, let's just put a little more right here. A little more right here. You know, for insulation, I was thinking, well, the rest of that's some other points that are probably hot. But that is, you know, covered in a mask there, so just go ahead and cover the solder joints and everything. Still missed that spot there. Moved around, didn't it? Right there. There. Maybe a little more right there. That stuff is cleared, so it's hard to see. Oh, yeah, blind yourself. Yeah, there we go. Since I know it's actually really easy to get off, and it'll kind of help hold that strain relief wire from getting strained. I guess I'll put a little on that side too. Might keep it from oxidizing as much. There. I think that's it. Yeah. So I better go ahead and unplug this thing. Surprisingly, it didn't melt out as much of the hot glue as it did the last time I had it plugged in. So I can unplug both of these and let them cool down. Just put them over here. Okay. Yeah, I usually take and scrape or like a knife and scrape that off, or sandpaper, and or at least a screwdriver or something, and kind of while it's still hot. Where's that? My red knife. There it is. While it's still hot, I'm gonna kind of scrape it off best I can. I didn't really want to use my utility knife, but it's the only thing I got right now, and I want to hurry up and do it. That actually helps a lot to scrape it down while it's hot. And if there is any solder still dangling around on it, solder eats the tip up. I didn't ever used to know that. And I never used to clean them for years. Most of my life I never knew that. I thought it was just fine, you know. They looked clean with all that shiny solder on them. That's hot. I was trying to wipe it with a paper towel, but you know I can if I do it fast. It's still very hot. Let's see what it looks like now. About the same. Yeah. It needs to be cleaned. Sometimes if you clean them after they're dry, then you know that solder does. You can't get the solder off very well. I mean, you can really work at it, but you can be digging metal off of your tip too. But yeah, now it's standing up real nice. Oh, I can feel that stuff. Okay, very good. Okay. Now, that rubber was pretty much like that. I think maybe it was. Oh, I see. You can tell by the indents. Look at there. I can tell where it was by the indents. I think it was pretty much even with the edge. I think it was sticking up from the edge a little bit. I don't know if it matters a lot, but probably doesn't. I'm going to put it in there. Oh, yeah. I guess I'll do, oh yeah, there's no way I can tie a knot in that. So I guess I'll hot snot it like they did. I just don't know if, exactly where it goes in there. I just realized there's a lot of leeway as to where you can put it. There's nothing to, that rubber's the only thing that locate, I mean, it doesn't locate, it just goes in there. Okay. I guess my solder joint kind of, I guess I'm not standing to the camera, but I'm trying to, I'll just use it. I'll go ahead and get off of the close-up view until I really want to show you something close up. This way you can see when I'm, see what I'm doing better. There we go. You don't need a close-up of this, really. Okay. I'm trying to hurry because I just realized I want to use the hot snot again. I guess I better plug it in. There. Thing is an odd shape. It's hard to tell if it's down in there or not. Okay. Hurry up and plug it back in before it gets too cold to work. There. It was still pretty hot, so maybe it'll still work. I don't know if it's in there or not. It's a thing. The wire go that way. Okay, yeah, I think it is. I think maybe I don't want it crooked like that. Since there. More like that. I want to make sure, let me get that close-up going again. That's what I was wondering. Yeah, it doesn't touch. Okay. It doesn't have any actual locators. It could be, that rubber is the only thing that keeps it from spinning or anything. It can go left and right. It can go twist. You know, there's usually something to hold these kind of things together. Okay, now let's do that. Can't really, I'll push it back as much as I can, but I can't really, I don't want to force it and make things even worse. Hope there's enough left in there for me to get some out. I've got more sticks, but, oh yeah, I can just put a new stick in it on top of that one. I forgot, that's how you do it. Where is that? It's over here with me. I thought it was. Oh no, the sticks don't go in the sack. I guess they might fit in there now. They were too big to fit in there. Oh, that, and oh, it was usually maybe a little warm when I put it away, and I didn't want to melt my plastic bag that they're in. So, it really is a pretty handy thing. I don't use them for much, but I never realized that they were used so much in electronics. I thought they was good for is arts and crafts, these glue guns, until I started reading more and more about, well, they didn't used to use it in electronics. They used to use silicone. They used to use other specialty stuff that I never really know to this day what it is. Just put a bunch in there. I don't know. I want it to be kind of a strain relief. If I can, they just didn't. If they wanted it to do that, they didn't put enough. Okay, that ought to be enough. Now then, I want to hurry up and stick it together while it's still hot enough to not. I may have to scrape some of that off. We'll see. I actually want to try to hurry and get this done. Is that cool enough to get off there? Got a few dots on the table. At least that doesn't hurt. Soldered well, this is Formica table thing here. The solder wouldn't really hurt it too much. Some surfaces solder will destroy. Yeah, that's still, oh, yeah, it's still wet. And I just tried dang near glued my finger to it. Okay, did I pull anything loose or anything? What I need to do is put it together. Okay. Everything is still in the right place? Yeah. Let's give this one more last look. Yeah. See where I touched it? I was trying to push it down in there. I didn't know it was still that wet. Okay. Now then. The screws are still in there. They didn't actually act like they wanted to come out, so I didn't try to make them. Why why worry about it? There's another little set of small screws that goes up there, but I mean, it has actual, get them lined up. Oh, the one side went down, the other side didn't. Not hitting anything, am I? There's some little tabs up here that I hadn't noticed. Maybe that's the locator tabs that I was wondering about. I may need to twist that motor a little bit or something. Yeah, that has to go. See, that side doesn't have any. This side does. So I guess it really was supposed to go in this side first. Now the whole mystery is solved. But I've already got it glued in there, so if I can twist it enough to get it together, I will not take it apart. But I did make a mistake. I should have thought about that and looked at the other side of the case. I just took it apart that way because the screws, I didn't want the screws falling out, you know. But I do have it. Oh, I see. The way it kind of was wanting to go, it looked wrong to me, but that was the right way. It needs to go more that way. I may have to take it out. I may have to pull. This is glued in there, but if I think, yeah, trying to twist it is pulling on my wires. I'm gonna have to, while it's still warm enough, I better get it out of there. I didn't want to, but darn it, man, that aggravates me. Well, I'll just have to there. Make a mistake, gotta fix it. Be careful, I don't wanna, when that breaks loose, I don't wanna be breaking all my work I just did. All that work I did to solder that down, to solder it, to hot snot it down, it's got to be broke loose. I don't want to. Oh, that's too sharp to be sticking in there. Let's see. There we go. Now. You just want to, because if I force it to twist, it's really going to put all the pressure on that. Everything I tried to do to, you know, strain relief it, I'd be putting it in a strain. So, because it needs to twist that way. Dang it. Yeah, see, that's what happens when you get in a hurry. Nah, for me it always happens because, there we go, it's loose. It happens because I just can't think straight anymore. I keep saying that. Used to be good at this. Right. Okay, so what it needs to be then is still has to go in the same side. Not sure. Yeah, there's those locators I was wondering about. Ow. So, there we go. Yeah, those solder things, those things that hope I didn't make a mistake there. I mean, it doesn't really, it's not a big deal that I took it out and put it back in, but okay, there. Well, this time before I put any more hot snot on it, I'm going to make sure it's melting now. Make sure it's going to shut So I'll get it plugged in and everything, but yeah, well, even though it wasn't plugged in, it was dripping, wasting my new stick. I don't know why it, well, I guess because I had pressure on it when I squeezed the trigger. That's why. I guess I kind of probably squeeze it more than you'd really need to. So, now that one doesn't want to go down in there, but I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to, because the last thing I want, good thing I put a lot on there before up in here, since I ended up fighting with it. But the, see, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it goes in between those two plastic, that U-shape area, both ends. I don't think you'll be able to see it there. If I turn that, yeah, I can't really see it in there, but I can. Oh yeah, okay. Well, there's nothing down there on that end. It's just this here. That's the only thing though. So that's all there is. Actually, that doesn't really go very far. That's why I want to make sure it's going to shut. Maybe I never did have it together enough. Let's put that in there. Now, if it doesn't want to go together this time, yeah, it's not all the way still. Make sure my wires, yeah. You got to get it close enough so that the oh, there's my problem. My big hunk of solder is fighting me. So if I'd have realized that, oh, you know what? I may have to melt that a little bit. Or cut it off some. I think I'll try cutting it with my, I've got some flush cutters here. Can I see that good enough? Maybe if I go with the, yeah, see it's, see there? It's right in the way of it going on down. Well, I mean, it's not touching right now, but, oh wait, it's not in the way. Oh, I guess it's in the way of the top side. The other side. I don't cut it too much. There. Yeah, melting it again could get into a can of worms. It's actually, is it let loose? I'm beginning to wonder if it's already come loose. Uh-oh, it's broke. I don't think it's doing me any good whatsoever. Look at that. It came loose completely. I guess I didn't have a good solder after all. But you know what? As tight as that glue is that I put on there, it may be alright. I could try it again, but heating that side of that up enough with that little old soldering iron I've got, and remember, it's a ground wire that actually goes nowhere. It's cut off on the other end. Dang it. That I hate. I thought I was really good with that. Well, that spot, let me get the motor out. I mean, it's not in there all that. It's not hard to get it in and out. I may want to hit it again. I might be able to solder it to that solder that's already there is what I'm thinking. That's in there pretty tight. But not with it all in the rubber and everything. I don't know if it's worth it. I'd have to clean that rubber off of there. I mean that hot snot off of there with the alcohol again. And that means it's liable to get on all that and loosen it up. Dilemma. Well, it's going to be in the way of putting it together. I didn't realize what I was doing. I guess that's why they had that small hard wire soldered here, that solid core wire, and then it went up here to get to this. What I can do is cut it off and it'll be out of the way. Because yeah, I'll never get, unless I could solder down here in where that is, and there's not any, like I said, I don't have, my soldering iron's not going to heat that case up that much. That spot where they soldered before, which is right there, even with that tab or whatever you want to call it, that protrusion in the case. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to get it to shut. It might, I mean, it feels like it would be good. I mean, that stuff does kind of hold pretty good. And if I put a whole bunch in here again, that'll be some more strain relief. I'm going to cut it off. It has no function other than being a strain relief. I'm going to risk it. I don't think it's a big risk. And obviously it didn't work the first time. So maybe this way it'll work this time. I think I'll just cut it off as close as I can get it, because I don't want it any, I mean, there's nothing that should short out to it, but well, if the next guy comes along, he might think that's a real bad short. Make sure no little pieces of wire got down in the motor. There. Yeah, I probably blew them down in there, right? Now it's, you know, not dangling any copper out in the, or anything. So now, if it should fit together just fine. Before I shut it up, I'll fill that up. And this side already has a bunch in it, so it'll be, you know, some resistance to it pulling out, I think. Let's see if I can get it together. It actually acts like it don't want to, still don't want to go. Maybe I don't have it in there as tight as far as I thought I did. It looks like it's in there. Feels like it couldn't go any further. Sometimes you can't, you don't even remember the camera angle when you're really just trying to get it to work. But let me go back to the double view so at least you're not, you got something to see besides a really bad camera work. Okay, so yeah, I'm still not quite sure why it's not. I mean, that's down. That wire's down in there just fine. That's not in the way. That's not sticking out really. So means a little bit, but not. Well, wait a minute. Maybe it's more than I think it is. Let's shave that off of there. Now, it's not as much as I was lacking of it going together. Make sure that that wire can go in there, because that once this side I won't be able to, you know, well, I guess I could squirt some in there and then shut it, but I don't think I can work that fast. That side I will do that side, because that's the one that, the way I think it needs to go. Yeah, because I have to get that metal, that little metal tab that holds the motor together, where motor was soldered together. I have to get it in the right spot. Yeah. Okay. Okay, there we go. It was that. It was a hot snot. It just was. It was thicker than it looked like it was to me. Okay. So now we don't have a big gap, and I'll put my nuts on there and screw it together, and it'll be good. Well, my whole plan of that wire, making a better strain relief with that wire, really fell apart, didn't it? Well, it was their plan, and I was just thinking I would use it, and still use it. There. Okay. Yeah, put this in its place. Yeah, it's still in good shape. Wasting my stuff. Let me go ahead and. No, that's fine. I'm really just looking in the. I was going to put some in this spot here. Just make sure it stays in its groove there. Okay. I can put some there even. I don't know if it'll stay long enough, but now I may put a little bit in here to warm that up a little bit. I can't move fast enough. Okay, now let's try and get it together before it separates itself again. Wire was out of the place. Okay, good. Now, let's get our, oh, we got a washer and a nut. Where's my magnetic screwdriver? One over the other of them. There you go. Where'd it go? Does it go in there? Yeah, it's in there. Okay. This, we'll have to flip it over. Screwdriver. Oh, that's in the way. There. Get one started and then put the other one there. Okay, now I want to get it quick as I can because I don't want it to. Oddly enough, that little flat, it's not as magnified as the Phillips, but that's good because then you can do that with it. That's cool. I had noticed that by accident one time. And sometimes I remember that that's a good way to do it. Okay. I want to start. It's cool that it has those, there we go. It has those perfect hex holes in there to hold your nut for you. That's hot. That hot glue really warmed it up. Okay, just plastic, so it doesn't need to be super hot, tight. Now I'm gonna go ahead and unplug my hot glue gun. I'm going to use, I think I've used half a stick now. Well, I'd put a bunch in there. There's not too many big drops over there. Well, one time I let about a half a stick melt onto my table. Let it run for a long time. Okay, now we've got these little bitty ones. They're going to be a little more tricky. Oh, and I can't use this big old screwdriver for that. How did I do that? Oh, I know. Where is it? There it is. My trusty long screwdriver is just the right size. Now these don't have a spot for them to go into, but I'm gonna put them through from the same side. Let's see, yeah, put the screw heads on this side. Guess I'll do them one at a time. And there you go. Nope, not yet. Let's try that one more time. Close. Come on, just go on there. Okay, you went. Good, thank you. Now, see if we can get that started. Okay. Now let's get the other one in there. Interesting little device. Now let's just hope it works when we get done. I have never seen one of these. I never knew how they worked. It's really simple once I saw it, you know. I instantly knew how it worked. Counterweight. It's just so simple that it's genius. Counterweight on the end of the motor. The whole thing vibrates like crazy. Just exactly the opposite of what you would do with a motor, an engine, you know, for anything. So just put a bad flywheel on your engine and you got a vibrator. You know, they go to great lengths to balance flywheels for, especially, you know, for standard shift vehicles. They go to great lengths to balance those flywheels and everything. Not on here. Yeah, see, when I'm not having so much trouble, I can actually show my work there. Okay, so there it is, all put together. That right there is just, I guess, a natural crack because it wasn't, you know, fighting me or anything. And then when you plug her in and turn her on, she does the job. And I think, see, that was see there, they tied that in a knot. Put that strap on it. Now what I'm thinking though is I want to let out a little bit. Well, you know what? I don't guess I need to. I didn't change the length of that. I wish I wouldn't have took that off there now. I don't know which way it goes. I mean, it was staying up in there really well, so I'll just put it one way, and then if it's wrong, I'll put it the other way. Okay, now I'm going to have to go. I'm not going to try to make a video of me doing the rest of this. For one thing, I don't have time, and the other thing, you know, that'll be off in my mom's room and everything, so instead of in here in my private studio. My room. Okay, but there we go. I'll have to just hope it works. I mean, maybe I'll come back and tell about it or something, but that's still playing. I let my thing play this whole time. I didn't realize I had left my preview playing. It was just muted. It kept playing. Okay. Oh, man. I'm gonna... Actually, I think I'll just leave everything like it is. I was gonna move my table and all that stuff, but there's really no point right now. Okay. Laptop doesn't need to stay running though. Just take off. Okay, so I guess I'll say goodbye. And that's it. That's a massage motor, a vibrating motor. First time for me to see one. All right. I'm gonna go try to put this back on the bed. Now I've got a lot more work to do. Whew. Maybe not as bad. Well, hopefully not as bad as what I had taking it apart. Anyway, see you later on the next video.